What's up, duelists? I'm joined here today by first place winner of the Ultimate Time Wizard event at YCS Dortmund, Benjamin. What's up, Benjamin? How are you doing
Hello,
today?
guys. I'm amazing, man. Met my favorite hero online, so yeah,
You're very
best day
kind.
of my life, I guess.
Better than winning the tournament? I think that's probably better than doing this interview, nah?
Nah, maybe, man. Even on the day before, I was like dreaming, what if I win? What if we do deck profile? What if Keegan wants it? That was what I was thinking.
That's really kind of you. That's really kind of you, man. The deck looks sweet. You played Diva Hero. Is this a deck that you enjoy? Is this a deck you're familiar with, or
This deck that actually got me interested in Edison. At one point, I was just looking in retro formats, and I always saw Edison was, I guess, the biggest, but it didn't appeal me at first sight because I never tried it. And then I saw like a deck list of our boy True Hero with like deck devies and Mind Crush. And then I looked like, okay, this is a badass deck. And then I tried it out, and then you play more Edison, and yeah, then you learn it's like the best format. You guys know it. You watch Keegan, so yeah, and then I stick with it, I guess.
that's awesome. That's awesome. A few questions about your deck list before we get into things. You ran 41 cards. Is there a reason you ran 41 cards, or is it just what you felt like playing?
More like felt like playing. It's not like increasing my decreasing my chances of drawing malicious. It's more like I had the cards I wanted to play in the deck, and then I had like 46 cards I want. Then you, of course, need to make a 40 card deck. And yeah, then I reached like 41, and I was like, I cannot cut anything I really want. And yeah, the tournament was approaching, so like, this is it. I don't want to make changes or regret anything, and could just go for it.
I think that's really smart. I think just like saying, this is what I like, this is what I'm going to play, and just going for it, I think that's a great way to approach deck building in general. I think getting too scientific about it and also making too many last minute changes is usually a mistake. So, good stuff.
Yeah, think I do think going over 41 and like 42, then it's already
Yeah,
decreasing your odds of drawing certain cards. But 41, 40 is just fine, man.
yeah, I think there's I believe it's less than a tenth of a percent difference in seeing certain cards, and the deck list looks very consistent. I've noticed you've got the one E emergency call. Is this just so you see Stratos as consistently as possible?
Exactly, dude. I call it the Europe call. It's like you want Stratos, man. I played this deck for months. Yeah, the times you draw him, you mostly win. You can control the game. The times you don't draw him, then it's more like you need to win in few turns because you don't have any juice left.
Yeah, you do have to be a little bit more aggressive when you don't have Stratos because you can't play the resource game as well. So opening him is very important. He is your only target for the emergency call. Am I correct?
Yes.
Just
Yeah, the thought behind it. Oh, sorry.
continue. What were you saying?
Yeah, the thought behind it was more like opening them both. It's a very low chance. It's like around 2%. But with eCall, yeah, you have like a 10% more chance to drawing Stratos. eCall can't be that, but it is a spell card you can always set. And like in Edison, people are afraid of set cards. So that eCall means also you had the Stratos, you played them, so you have the advantage already. For me, it's like a no-brainer. There was like a late inclusion. Like suddenly the thought popped in my head, like, what about eCall? Then I tried with Oceans and Alias, but that just makes the deck worse. Like you don't want more dead cards in your hand. So this way you have Stratos most of the time, and eCall is like yeah, just the card that won me a lot of games actually. And every time I drew it, it was like a confidence boost of like, yes, I put this card in the deck, it's working.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. It's always great to have your tech card just like go a really long way in making sure that your deck functions, and especially at the top level of competitive play. A few more tech cards I see here is Spear Reaper. That's something that I know a true hero likes to play. Have you liked this card a lot in
Yeah,
this deck?
definitely. I also played it even before he showed with it, like that he also played it. For me, the idea was when I watched Tenfu D, like he's a really good Fayu player, and the way he built his Fayu decks, I felt like Diva Hero can be the same way. Like you don't go always for OTK lines. Sometimes you control the game. And Spear Reaper is like the perfect card. It goes offensive and defensive. So I took it more for Tenfu D and his way he builds his decks, and then I tried to replicate it to Diva Hero more. and then suddenly everyone starts playing it. I was like, oh shit, man, there goes my cool tech. That's fine.
It happens. It happens, especially like if you start winning. I mean, everyone's gonna copy your deck list. Trust me, no one knows more than I do about people copying your tech
Nice.
cards, right? It is a really good card, I think, in this deck because let's say your opponent has like Royal Oppression. When you set the Spear Reaper, it lets you pivot into Caius even under Royal Oppression, which is really nice. Um,
Definitely, man. It is just the guy is safer actually against all the aggro decks against you. Spear Reaper's amazing.
that's super cool. Anything about the main deck that you want to say like underperformed, or were you happy with just about every single card you included?
Honestly, I think every card was amazing. Like sometimes the Phoenix Wings Wing Blast, you most of the time side it out, but I don't know. It is like a card that's somehow always saves my ass or works with like surprise gores. Somehow the card you want to cut it, but keeping one in your deck is just also really powerful. Multiple you can brick on, but one's just really awesome. It's like powering that Dark Armed faster, or putting cards in the grave for Miracle Fusion. So it's like a control and actually an offensive card. Yeah, that would be the only card I was iffy on, but for now, this is the deck. If the meta ever changes, Edison can evolve. We don't know what will be in the future. Then of course you will change cards. But for now, I think this is honestly the best Diva deck I played.
Yeah, it just looks really solid. The sideboard cards, were you happy with all your sideboard cards? I noticed you've got Prohibition, you've got the one deck Devastation Virus. How useful were these
Yeah,
cards?
Prohibition was awesome because siding is of course the most difficult part of Yu-Gi-Oh! And preparing for a big tournament. You never know if people are like deep in the Edison meta like we are, or they just play random stuff. And yeah, Prohibition actually works against everything, even the random stuff. So Prohibition, I think more people will start to side it. For me, it worked amazingly. Every time I like a matchup I was not sure about, Prohibition can always help, of course. Also, in one of my rounds, funny things happened with Prohibition. We can talk about it later. The deck dev is almost always include, but this tournament it did nothing for me, so that was kind of funny. Yeah, and the only awkward part is Starlight Road, because before this tournament, I was a little bit afraid of Black Wings. But by including it, I just felt safer. I didn't resolve it once, so I cannot say like, boys, you need to include this amazing tech card against Black Wings. But it definitely made me more calm during all my matches against Blackwing players. Just the idea of like, yeah, they can play Icarus all they want, like I can beat it.
Yeah, it is good to have those outs, even if you don't end up drawing into them. Like it can help keep your mental stable. And then if you're not drawing into Starlight Road, then you're probably drawing into like the other powerful cards that you've left in your deck. So, yeah, well, that's really interesting. Do you want to walk us through like some of your matchups, like some of the decks you played against? Did you play against anything cool or? Um,
Honestly, I think it was all meta, man. Like I'm always afraid of the random rogue decks people bring, because then like, yeah, I don't know always how they win or what they want to do. But I played against all meta. Yeah, we can go through every round of everything I remember. Like the first round was a Fayu player. Interesting story. He had like a really expensive deck, and me, the gullible people guy I am, he asked me if I can only pal shuffle this deck because he doesn't want me to damage his cards. So I was like, round one, maybe he has expensive deck, because of course we don't know it yet, right? So I just pal shuffle his deck. This guy proceeds to just crazy shuffle my deck, like yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know how I even reacted at that moment. But I too owed him, so like justice was served for me believing this guy. He had the expensive deck, but still, like, you're a tournament man. Everyone can shuffle your deck.
yeah, honestly,
Second
bring the
round,
commons, right? Like if you want, if you want to play in
yeah,
a
the same
tournament,
thing. Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
like I had also like a few expensive cards, and I was like, honestly, just bring commons one, right? Showing off can be for your friends, but in tournament, you always need to watch out.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, second round.
Hero Beat, one of the matchups I'm not confident with, like even online or somehow I never faced it as much. It's crazy, but yeah, it was a difficult match. I think I win, he wins, and then I 2-1, so it was like a little bit close, but it still felt okay. Like I was in control with this deck. I didn't have like to force the win. Yeah, third round against a nice guy, played Cat Dandelion. He didn't draw any of his cat or Summoner Monk, so in the end I just was asking what deck did you actually play, and then he told me. I was like, oh damn, didn't even know. So yeah, that was the first day, only 3 rounds. Honestly, shout out to the organizers for starting at 5 o'clock, and then we play till 9, and then the next morning you need to wake up at 9 and be there and starting the round. Very interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, that is really unique.
I hope they change it.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Yeah, it makes it crazy.
I could definitely see that not being ideal for tournament participants and for the organizers too, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it. There's certain reasons, of course, but for me it was like we went home and then in the morning immediately rushing there, no food, no drinks, no bathroom break, and just starting to play Yu-Gi-Oh, man, like a real caveman.
That's really funny.
Yeah, let's continue. Yeah, it's crazy. So then day 2, round 4, I'm 3-0, like thinking I would dodge all the rogue decks. Yeah, depends what you call rogue. Lightsworn, 4th round. I was like, okay, man, this is the only only the one time I need luck against Lightstorm because I don't want to get RNG'd. And I think the first game was fine. The second game, he had it all. He like milled 20 cards. He played Pot of Avarice. So like, okay, I didn't know they play this. So it was like 1-1. And then the last game, I prohibitioned him, and then he couldn't do anything. So that was amazing.
Very nice. So what did you name? What did you name with Prohibition against Lightsworn?
Yeah, I think I was pushing for games, so I was like honest. Like if he had dark armed, like I was planning just put him that low. Oh, sorry. Then he couldn't Judgment Dragon me. So then at that time it wouldn't matter. So just safely pushing, and yeah, I think I outspeeded him the last game. Luckily, could have been the other way. Our Lightsworn is always a difficult matchup. Like you never know how insane they draw, and then you just sit there and watch them kill you.
Yeah, understandable.
Luckily,
for sure.
this deck is. Yeah, luckily this deck has ways of defending it. Like episode 0 on the field, like in a defensive way. Yeah, Judgment Dragon cannot do much about it.
Totally. Round 5, perhaps.
Round 5, yeah. This was the first. Sorry, that was my first loss. Was like a mirror match. It was also a crazy game, back and forth. And then the third round, I deck Devi him. You think you would win the game? I unbreak his hand. He had like the juice afterwards and proceeds like to kill me the turn after or something. So that was that time I was actually smiling when I lost. Yeah, it was just a really funny situation. I was like, yeah, this is Yu-Gi-Oh as well, and I actually congratulated him by finding a cool way of killing me under deck Devi. It was kind of crazy.
Very unique. So you like siding deck Devi in the mirror? Is that just to hit like the divas and the evil hero, or?
Definitely. Like I think deck Devi kills his deck, and of course Royal Oppression. But yeah, you can unbreak them if they have Malicious and Treeborn and yeah, Miracle Fuses in hand. Then it's good for them, I guess.
True.
But normally you always side in deck Devi if you have it.
Interesting thought processes. I haven't really played the mirror that much. Is it something that you're like familiar with a lot, or what else do you normally side in that in that matchup?
I play the mirror a lot, and somehow I always seem to lose that mirror. But I always feel like I play good. But Diva Hero mirror is just interesting. You try to kill each other, but you also have always to take in account all the water monsters you both have on the field, plus certain tech cards. Like the guy had like super poly. Yeah, that's really good, and I don't side it. So that's maybe something in the future. He also played more the OTK variant. I think this deck honestly is better against the OTK variant, just the more defensive options you have. Siding against that deck, yeah, of course, the Fossil Dynas. If you resolve Fossil Dyna, and in this deck with the trap cards to protect it, then Diva Hero can do nothing. Yeah, Fossil Dyna, Crow. Yeah, he also baited me somehow because the first game I didn't see what he was playing, and I was like, it's on Hero Frogs. I sided in like Prohibition as well. He gold Sarks for Future Fusion, and I let him draw it, and then I Prohibition his Future Fusion. It was kind of awkward for him, but yeah, he still won. So really cool guy as well.
That's dope. What did you play against next?
Yeah, next super interesting match, honestly, was against Frog Monarchs. I thought, okay, Frog Monarchs, difficult matchup. Let's try to arm OTK him. So me and my opponent proceed to play 37 minutes of this checking game of me trying to army OTK him, and he trying not to summon any Monarchs. At that point, I guess he was annoyed and calls the judge for playing faster, says that I need to play faster. Me also not that tournament experienced, honestly, in real life. the judge was standing there and looking over us, and then I get nervous and I say okay, and I now need to go for it. He wins game 1 because I was like, okay, I cannot armor OTK him if we wait too long. And then the second game, I was just pushing more damaging because we only had like a few minutes on the clock. Then time is called. We're only in game 2 and we end up in a draw. And that moment I was actually devastated because I thought I cannot top anymore. But I guess luck on my side, he and me were the only ones with the draw at that time. So we get paired again for the last round. The last round. And then I 2-0'd him because I was like, okay, this is a smart player. He won't let me army or OTK him. And just 2-0'd him. And of course, one game, I guess we skipped, but it's against a guy I forgot. But I ended my 7 and 8 run, so a draw, and then a win against the guy I drew before.
So you got your vengeance basically for the slow game.
Exactly. But we talked it out. Like the people will really chill. Of course, some bad apples, but in general, people lose, get OTK'd, but they still shake your hand and wish you good luck in the future rounds. Like that's amazing. I don't know how it normally is, but I only met cool people while playing Edison.
Yeah, same. I've noticed that like other formats like Modern Yu-Gi-Oh or even other games really, I've had issues with like opponents getting insanely salty. In Edison, I think in all the tournaments I've been to, and I've been to like a lot, I've only had really one bad experience, and it was before Edison like started picking up. So I think now the community is just really cool. Like it's just filled with like a bunch of cool people. So it's dope to hear that you had a good experience. You know?
Yeah, I think the people like with passion, they stick around and just keep playing it because this is the format they have like fond memories from, and it's just amazing format, man. We don't have to talk about it. That was so, and it's 6-1-1, 186 people at the tournament, so I made top cut.
Very nice. Very
top
nice.
8 against Hybrid Black Wings. I'm not really fond of that build. I never felt like I was in danger. And I drew like 2 times gore, so honestly that made it I guess easy 2-0 against him as well. Then top 4 against a Blackwing player who was also top 8 at last Euros. So I already knew him and I already know he was playing Blackwings. My teammate lost against him, and that's also, guys, if you have like teammates who also join tournaments, like the info you can give each other is detrimental. Like he had ways of telling me like how the opponent plays. Like you need to watch out this. Most of the time he bluffs that, and it just gives you the extra confidence you need. I also felt like never I lost power in the game, and also won it easily. Always this tornado there will win, guys. Also good tip, of course. Just Blackwings, difficult matchup, but that's the matchup you play the most, so it shouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, you definitely got to know that. Like, if you don't know the Blackwing matchup and you're playing Edison format, you're not going to be having a good time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So top 8, top 4 goes well, and then you move on to the finals, which I heard was quite an exciting game. You want to tell people a little bit about?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Yeah, the finals Hero Frog. I guess it's the newest Frog version. I guess the best version, as people say. Also the version I'm most scared of, because like normally Frog people, they play slow. You can honestly, they can outtempo you at one point or outgrind you, but the Hero Frog can also kill you really fast. So you need to think what you're doing. And the first game, he had just an engine going on. I don't know if I draw bad or great, but it was really one-sided, and he proceeded to win it. But luckily, as everyone knows, you have like a full side deck against frogs. So game 2 and 3, that's where like matches are won. So game 1 is always whatever, guys. I think most of the time I actually lose my game 1, but I always manage to win the game 2 and 3 because you have your side deck with you and you just change like the bad cards out. Game 2, I think was like even. I draw, of course, Future Fusion. The whole tournament, I didn't see it, but it decided to show up in my finals. Thank God. I have the juice. I have like a 0. I think, okay, I have game on the board. I summon another 0. I had Sangan, Card Trooper, and Gilman on the field. I know they played that one card. I go for the attack, and this guy mirror forced me for 5. Like, I've never seen so many people facepalm in the crowd. But yeah, it was kind of interesting moment. But I will say this, of course, I knew there was a chance he had mirror force, and I know, of course, he kills all our monsters. but luckily he still have Sengen and Card Trooper to have like still cards in the hand. So it was not like a total surprise for me. I knew he could have it, but I decided at that moment we need to go for game. The whole tournament I was playing actually like the other favorite I have, Oscar. He also has like a defensive Diva Hero build. But at that moment, I felt like true hero, man. Like sometimes you need to go for it and try to win. Otherwise, you like leave faith in your opponent's hands. But the Mirror Force was there. I kind of was sad. He was kind of happy. Then at one point, he summons Elemental Stratos. People know play heroes. If your opponent has Stratos on the field, what do? You make
Goyo
Goyo Guardian,
Guardian,
man.
yeah, that's how
So
you do it.
exactly, dude. I stole I stole his Stratos, search mine, and then you grind your way back. So that was like a perfect game 2. Like it was a comeback story. Game 3, the most funniest shit ever happens. I draw Future Fusion plus Trap Dash Shoot. I trap Dash Shoot his ass, and the guy had only like 2 Battle Faders, Caius, Dust Tornado, MST, Heavy Storm, something like that, like 3 spell and trap removal. And at that moment, he and me both knew it was done. So I just put back his Caius, summon Sangan or whatever, attack, and then I luckily draw Diva. Then of course the play is to summon the Diva into Sangan to draw your Dyna. You play the Dyna, he cannot do anything anymore, and it was just a slow beatdown with Dyna and I think it was Android on the field. So every turn I also gained life points. It was kind of sad finals, but still amazing comeback story to win from the Hero Frog guy.
Yeah, yeah. I heard a couple of people were very excited that you ended up taking it over this guy. Just due to some
Yeah,
minor justice issues. I don't know if you want to comment on any of that, but
I don't know if we want to go public with it, but indeed there have been accusations made against the guy. I will not say if it's true or false, but let's say the crowd was really happy. I won. I made new friends I didn't even know before. So yeah, you can call this honestly the perfect hero story, like defeating a villain, as to say.
yeah, nothing against the guy personally. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and what are we all gonna do with a minute and 30 on the clock, right? But um,
Yeah, exactly, man.
I
Brain
totally
control
get it.
difficult card.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But no, really impressive run. This is actually the first time Diva Hero has ever won an Edison major tournament. You're the very first person to ever win
Yeah,
with this deck. How does that feel? Does that feel good?
I, it feels really good, man. But definitely still need to thank to like the founders of Diva Hero. Like, of course, people before my heroes made it. I know Silchus Ruin, I think, started playing this in Edison. But I need to give credit to a true hero and Oscar. Definitely, I think the best Diva Hero player guys in America, because I guess I'm EU. But yeah, definitely credit to them. Like, without them, people maybe would have dropped this deck. Which is crazy, actually, guys. Like, this is one of the best decks. Don't kid yourself. Just play more Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I think this deck is absolutely heat, and I'm super happy that you took it to a win. You seem like a super awesome guy. You won a giant card
Thanks, man.
Jinzo, I believe, right? Was it a giant card Jinzo?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it was amazing. The PSV one.
Very, very nice. Very, very good stuff. Is there anything else you want to shout out? Anything else you want to talk about before we call it a wraps? Anything you want to say about the event itself or about the future of Edison or
I just think Edison only get bigger and bigger. Like the way the Edison of just the Yu-Gi-Oh you play in Edison format is the most fun it can be. It's like back and forth. I think decks can still be discovered. That meta can still change. But at the end, you still always need to just believe in the heart of the cards and top deck malicious, I guess.
yeah, top deck your second malicious baby. No, that's awesome. Thank you
Indeed,
so
man.
much for joining me, Benjamin. You're a real one. Everyone in the comments say something nice for Benjamin. Congratulate him on his W, and yeah, congrats on your win, man.
Thanks, Kian. See you guys.
Later.